I woke up this morning and I was looking through TMZ and I saw this. Donald Trump, feds, the FBI, agents raid Mar-a-Lago. They broke into my safe. My name is Nate the Lawyer. If you are new here, we talk about the law and the facts. If you're about that life, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm just going to say it. This is huge, because if this happened to Joe Biden, if this happened to Donald Trump, political leaders, whenever law enforcement action starts to occur to them, we always get concerned. So this is not really a Trump-centric thing. This is just like, wow, you got to have a good reason why you're going into Trump's house. Even though, to be honest with you, no one should be above the law, right? You should be treated just like everybody else. But we know that's just not true, right? It's just, if you're going to search Joe Biden's house, if you're the federal government, you got to have a good excuse. If you're going to search Obama's house. So if you search Trump's house, you got to have a good excuse. Let's read through this. Donald Trump's Florida home was crawling with FBI agents Monday, with the feds raiding his Mar-a-Lago resort as part of a search warrant. Now, for those of you who know, search warrants, you need probable cause. So let's see what his search warrant was all about. The raid reportedly involves Trump's failure to turn over classified and unclassified government documents and other materials that he improperly took from the White House to his Florida home. Trump belatedly turned over 15 boxes of government property a few months ago, but obviously the feds think he still has stuff he shouldn't have. So it seems like they have to have some real good intel that he's got something there that he shouldn't have. Now, but this makes sense though. Whenever you leave your job, Trump left the presidency, you still have things from the job that you have to give back to the job. And essentially that's what the government's saying. He took stuff, classified stuff, and still has them there, and that they need that classified stuff back because he's no longer president. It's an obviously stunning turn of events. In order for the FBI to search Trump's home, they had to first get approval of Attorney General himself, and then go to a federal judge and submit hard proof there is probable cause to believe a crime was committed. Now, essentially that means you have to believe that doing this search would lead you to some evidence that there was likely a crime committed. So the standard is not too high because there's a lot of things that can lead you to probable cause. But essentially the government says they had it and the judge says they had it. So can't wait to see that. That deserves all caps because it has never been done before in the history of our country. A former president and the active crosshairs of a federal criminal investigation. And one was serious enough to trigger a search warrant. And that's true. That's true. Because this is the first time a former president, as a matter of fact, any former president had to deal with a search warrant and criminal charges. But this is not true, though. This part of this article is not true. The former president of crosshairs of a federal criminal investigation, that is not accurate. And I'll show you why that's not accurate, because Bill Clinton was in the crosshairs of a federal criminal investigation, actually pled guilty. So, this is not the first time. Bill Clinton was the first. So the former president is currently in New York City. He acknowledged the raid, grossing the FBI broke into his personal safe. Trump is blaming the raid on the Democrats and those who did not want him to run for the White House in 2024. And he's trying to compare the raid to Watergate. Okay. It is unclear what FBI agents seized from Trump's home or safe. So they broke into his home. They broke into his safe. Interesting. These are dark times for our nations. This is a statement from President Trump. As my beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, I love the way he uses that language. My beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Nothing like this has ever happened to a president of the United States before. Well, again, Bill Clinton was. He had to plead guilty before leaving office. Former President Trump goes on to say, after working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessary nor appropriate. It is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and an attack by the radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me, I'm assuming, to run again. So the article goes on. As you know, the Justice Department is also investigating Trump's efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 national election. It's true. Former Attorney General Eric Holder, who worked with the Obama administration, realistically predicted Trump will eventually be indicted on criminal charges as a result of the DOJ investigation.
My guess is that by the end of this process, you're going to see indictments involving high-level people in the White House. You're going to see indictments against people outside the White House who were advising them with regard to the attempt to steal the election. And I think ultimately you're probably going to see the former president of the United States indicted as well.
Don't forget, he's also being investigated in Georgia for, what he was doing there of trying to overturn the election. So this is not Trump's only issue. The DOJ is also investigating Trump's role in January 6th insurrection, with a number of former Trump administration officials recently testifying before a grand jury as part of the probe. The story is still developing. Boom. Unfortunately, former presidents are not above the law. If you're taking stuff and that you don't belong to you, then you may have a problem with the feds. But I don't know if raiding the guy's home is appropriate, especially if you've already asked him about stuff, told him about stuff. You have the open line of communication. Why raid the place? There's still a lot of questions because I don't know. I'm skeptical about the reasons for the raid, but I am not naive enough to know that if the government has something good and they went to a judge and said, this is what we got, and the judge signed that warrant, then I'd like to see what it takes to search a former president's home, because whatever they had in the warrant had to be good. It would have had to be good for me. But as the story develops, let's figure it out, and I'll keep you updated if there are any new developments. This time, my name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out of here. Peace.